So I'm wearing my beast shirt, but it's not for the negative side. All right. It's for our Spartan race that I did in 2019 in the mountains here in Lake Tahoe. It was super cold. When I finished the race, it's like was it like 13? It's like a half marathon, but it was a little bit more than a half marathon, about 15 miles through the mountains and jumping into cold water. And some of it was frozen. You had to like break through the ice. Of course, that's my forte. I'm good at getting in cold water as a Navy SEAL. So I did really good with that race. Lots of obstacles. There was like 26 different obstacles running through the mountains back when. And 2 weeks before, I'd done a bodybuilding contest and won it. So it's like, I was like, what? Why do I push myself so hard? Because that's what I do, right? So you guys, I see you guys are hot in the chat there. Now with all of you guys in the chat and my shield wall that's in there with your wrenches to like crack the heads of the trolls. Have you guys been noticing a little bit extra more than usual? Let me know in the chat for my shield walls people. Hit that like. That's right. Hit the like and subscribe and get into LifeWave. That's right. So yes. So you guys have been noticing more than usual, huh? Georgia girl, thank you. So I can tell you that I have been noticing it as well, because occasionally I go into the chat, not all the time, but I have been going into the chat a little bit more than usual and making comments, and I see a lot of baddies in there, a lot of baddies, more than usual. Now, on top of that, there's been obviously a lot of suppression that's going on. My views are way down from what they normally are. Not as much on Rumble, but here on YouTube, absolutely. They've been doing a lot of very mysterious like suppression on my channel, saying you can't say that, you can't use that, lot more than usual. All right, so I've had to overcome a little bit of that. So now, you know that Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson and Alex Jones they really came out hard, and some other top people, they really came out hard against President Trump, all of them, right? So I've been saying for a long time, there's a lot of people that are infiltrating in the truth community. I pointed some of them out over the years, and I just get so much blowback. I just don't care anymore. Well, I do care, but it seems like there's a lot of people that don't care. So I just gave it up because I got tremendous pushback on that, and I was like, okay, you guys are going to find out on your own then. So we had Alex Jones basically sign off from InfoWars. Candace Owens is going full retard, and a lot of the other Tucker Carlson, full retard. And I think they basically came in to infiltrate the MAGA and truther community, and basically at some point, of which we've just seen, to try and derail it. Did not work. It did not work. We're very focused, and we're very, God is on our side, right? So we're able to see through the evil side, right? The beast side, right? And again, I'm not wearing a beast shirt for the bad guy side. I'm wearing the beast shirt because I'm a beast, right? And the Spartan Beast was like an incredible event that I did. All right, so let's look at some of this. So Alex Jones InfoWar shut down. So a little bit, there was a little bit more in here. Where is it at? So here it is. Open Elon Musk X, and you will find people building on Jones's legacy as a purveyor of brain poisoning lies. Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes, and countless smaller figures as they apply InfoWars conspiratorial lens to everything from the real assassination of Charlie Kirk to the fictional death of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, paranoid, open, explicitly anti-Semitic, conspiracy theories, blah, blah, blah. So some of that, I need to make a shirt, conspiracy theorist, and then haha, I'm right, something along those lines. So conspiracy theory proven right. And I think that's very suspect. And it looks like you got a little bit of a streaming problem there. So if that continues, I'll switch over to another platform. We got some storming here, so that might be what's causing it. Or it could be because I'm revealing. And used to be they would really come after us while we're doing shows, and our streams would get interrupted. We haven't seen a lot of that. I've seen some of that in the past, and I've learned to switch over into other platforms at my disposal, and I don't say what those are, although you can see the one of them in the background there. So thank you, Elon. So there's a lot of pushback going on right now. So we have talked about how in the past we would see emergency broadcasts, system, activated. We could be moving in that direction because these guys went, they were activated to go full retard mode because I think the deep state is in desperation mode. So they were their puppets for a long time, hiding under, the truther community and the MAGA community. And basically deep state said, go full retard. We control you, we puppet you, and we know you're going to be destroyed, but do it anyway, right? So you're at the disposal of, Satan, Lucifer, which is the highest realm, I guess. As we've had, Silicon Satan, Craig Lund on, and he's basically informed us that the Satanists are just little puppets of Luciferians. Luciferians are the top of the food chain, all right? So we'll go with that because he seems to be well informed on that. So Luciferians, deep state Luciferians are in desperation mode. We could see, like I said, the EBS activated at some point in the near future. People talk about that for a long time. Our former friend, wherever he's at, in heaven or on, where's that one place where people go to escape, right? New Zealand. So we'll see in the future if he did or if he's, really, unfortunately, took himself out, right? So, the more I see about that, the more I'm like kind of leaning towards, because I don't feel him because I can usually feel when someone's here still or if they're gone, and I don't feel him out there. And that could be because there's a block, right? So I don't see him either here or not here, right? So sometimes when people have crossed the other side, I can communicate and feel them over there. So I don't feel him there. And that's kind of, this is one of those anomalies. So I'm not saying that he's gone, and I'm saying that he's here. All right. So that might be, a lot of you guys are like, well, you're not all that gifted then. I'm very gifted, but, I think that this is on purpose, that there is this confusion because there's so many people that are onto this, and there's so much information and so many, potential timelines that are out there. And I don't know. I can't, Viking heaven. That's right. Valhalla. So, so we don't know exactly, if David's here or if he's gone, whatever happened. It was a good play on him being, of the persuasion of leaving, by his own means. Right? which just does not make sense to me, or to Carrie Cassidy, or people, that have been involved in this realm for quite some time. But, there's been stranger things that happen. So he basically, David Wilcock, for God, going back, he was talking about this 15, 20 years ago, it seems like, where he was talking about the EBS being activated. It never happened, obviously. Will it happen? I'm of the opinion that I think no, but it could. There's lots of different potentialities out there, lots of different timelines and so forth. Now, I see people that are talking about we're living in this kind of bubble of where things are being created and we don't really have that much control. I don't agree with that. I think we're living in something where we can create our reality. So some people think that it's not real. Then it's like, that's ridiculous to me, right? So of course we can create our own reality here. And I think the deeper and more spiritual connection that you have to the Creator God, the better you are at creating your reality and attracting people that are the same creator reality creationist. That I think that as you rise in consciousness, and there are people that have been in higher consciousness and have come down to this level, the angelic realm, that we have the ability to create on this level. And I feel that I've been on those levels and have come down into this reality and have done a lot of good things. And as you awaken to those potentialities, then you become even a greater creator. All right. So let's look at, some of these things out there that are kind of dark and create different realities. We can look at, for instance, the Paramount Pictures introduction, their 100th anniversary logo. Let's look at this. These are like fallen stars. Falling stars. How about that? Fallen angels. Fallen stars. Hollywood. City of Angels. Los Angeles. All right. So start to think a little bit bigger here. All right, so the fallen angels, Mount Hermon, right? Supposedly where the fallen angels came down in the biblical text. Now, the biblical text, they talk about that, and what they say is quite interesting. So Mount Hermon, let's look at what Mount Hermon looks like. Kind of similar to what we saw there. Now, they have changed that over the years, what the Paramount mountain looks like. Maybe at one time it was Mount Hermon, right? So now why would I want to focus on Mount Hermon of all places, that place where Syria, Lebanon, and Israel come together, all right, where there's been lots of biblical things over the years. Now, here's information. Mount Hermon is significant in religious texts as it is believed to be the location where the Watcher class of fallen angels, kind of like that Paramount, logo where all the stars fall down, right? Of fallen angels descend to earth, like Los Angeles, Hollywood, Holly being the witches. When they make their wands, they use it from Hollywood, right? As described in the apocryphal book of Enoch, the fallen angel descend to earth. They swore an oath on this mountain to take human wives, which led to their corruption of humanity. So cultural impact. The narrative has influenced various religious and mythological interpretations. They always throw mythology on stuff that they're trying to hide. It's just mythology. So Interpretations regarding the nature of evil and divine judgment. The mountain is also associated with various ancient temples and inscriptions, indicating its importance in religious practices, right? So it is noted for an inscription that connects to the oaths taken by these angels located on its summit. There's a temple, Kasar and Tar temple, that where there's these inscriptions. Now, I saw from different people over time that have given lectures, and they showed on Mount Hermon where there was what looked like a spacecraft that had crashed, right? It was like had just a groove down a mountain, and these fallen angels, right? So are they extraterrestrial that, that, or are they angels like we think of, with wings flying in the sky? So I'm just open-minded about it, but I think these fallen angels came to Earth in craft, all right? So with Lucifer, all right? So that's, some of the stories that we've seen over time. So they were beings, they were tall, and they mated with women. Now I've had Juan on, and Juan has talked about this quite often, Juan O'Savin, and he's talked about how there was a city at the base of Mount Hermon where they formed a city, these fallen angels that crash landed here, is what I believe, and with Lucifer. And they started the city. They liked each other. Men liked each other, right? And we know that is one of the things that we've seen with these fallen angels, like they kind of look like, in descriptions that they have, kind of look like the Statue of Liberty, right? And so anyway, because Statue of Liberty has very masculine cheeks, and its arm is like very strong, like mine, right? It's not feminine at all, and it has a little bit of little booby, all right, like some hermaphrodite type thing or something. So anyway, these fallen angels liked each other, and they're like, hey, why not? Let's check out these women, right? So they started their own little sect, right? Some of these people that we are seeing now that are in positions where they should not be, actually in leadership positions, which they did not earn. They were placed in those positions by these fallen angel offspring, right? Over time. So I think we're going to find that out. We're finding that out. A lot of us understand this. There's lots of great talk about this already. And we're just going to continue this conversation until it's all revealed. And those of us that know this stuff, just basically crush it out there. All right. So we have, some of these fallen angel puppets, like we talked about, and they are being revealed. They have revealed themselves. Laura Loomer has been destroying Candace Owens. She has been doing such a great job. Good job, Laura. All right. So let's look at the latest of Laura Loomer. And so these people lie. And when they're caught in lies, it should be the end of them, but they continue because people are, attracted to them. I don't know, attracted or, subverted. Their consciousness is pulled in. They're very, they're outspoken people, and they have a lot of charisma, a lot of karma. Well, they do have karma coming, but they have a lot of charisma, so people are attracted to them, but they're being exposed.
Ever address any of my claims about her lawyers, about her husband, about her trust, about anything? She just calls me Larry. She wants to insinuate that I'm a man. Well, how did I have sexual relations with the president if I'm a man? Which one is it, Candace? Am I a man? Do I have a dick? Or am I having relations with the president of the United States? She can't even keep up with her own lies because she's just a pathological liar. Now, obviously, neither of those statements are true. I do not have a dick. I am not a man. And no, I've never had sexual relations with the president of the United States. This is absolutely absurd.
All right. So more and more of these people are being exposed. They can't lie anymore because their lies are being exposed. Emery Smith says David is safe. That's good. Emery Smith is a good guy. I liked Emery Smith. When I did the show with Gaia, I connected with him. Pretty cool. He's a really good guy, I think. So good to hear. So, I mean, like I said, there's conflicting stuff. There's very good people out there that are revealing, but we'll have to see going forward. Like I said, I'm open-minded about it. I don't see him on either side, so that's crazy. So there's a block there, and that could be David's consciousness because he's a pretty strong spiritual guy, and it could be the good guys are putting a block on that as well. So anyway, let's look at what's going on. So what I think the system is being crashed. The Luciferian deep state system is being crashed. One of the main places where it has to be crashed is Iran. So Iran now, a lot of people, you're seeing the Congress, of course, the Luciferian demonic demon rats, right? Demon rats, with some rhinos, Republican in name only thrown in, which is, at this point, I think the whole Congress and Senate needs to be cleaned. All right, just cleansed, and then those people that are of great merit, that usually, possibly don't have a lot of money, so they're not influenced by that level of to get to the billionaire status these days. You pretty much are going to have to be involved with the deep state Luciferian crowd, right? So that's not good. Now you can be involved with them. Like when I was in the CIA, I knew who the bad guys were, the Luciferians, the reptoids, right? So I could see them. I'm like, hey, I'm of the light. You guys have your agenda. I'm over here doing my thing. I'm gonna work around you. I'm gonna expose you at some point, which I'm doing now. And it doesn't matter to me because we're finally moving into a level of consciousness where we're creating this world. We're creator beings that have been given the ability to create from our creator. So we're connecting with him and we're creating a new reality on this earth, one that has been stopped out over and over and over again for millennia, and maybe even as far back as a million years. I don't know. But regardless, we're at the point where we're going to break free. We've been suppressed over and over again. And finally, after, all the problems we've overcome and learned from and evolved to the point where we can finally break free. We're at that point now, and we are going to break free. Of course, they're going to continue to try and stop us. And they've been successful, like I said, over and over again throughout time here on Earth and in other solar systems, other galaxies, right? So this one, for the best part, is where we're going to break free. And we're one of the last, I think, bastions in our galaxy of where the deep state evil exists. So everybody's watching to see if we evolve, and we're evolving. We very, very high level beings of light are evolving. Some of us reptilian, all right? Some of us, Palladian. Some of us Arcturian. Some of us, from many different solar systems, are here at this time after evolving, coming down into this reality and evolving as a group and breaking free. One of the only places in our galaxy, in many galaxies, where this has happened, where multiple forms, like I just mentioned, Palladians, Arcturians, and so forth, have come and have learned to work together. Usually, it's that the Palladians have broken free, the Arcturians are broken free, and so forth. But here it is where all of these different star beings have come, and we're all breaking free together. This is monumental. Everybody's watching. So with the advancement in consciousness, we're starting to see very easily through the lies and manipulations like the Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson's and Alex Jones's and all that stuff. So that's why they're breaking down, and we're breaking free from their manipulations. So occasionally, most of the time they would give us really good information, and then they would come in and couch in some negative, which they really started going full retard mode against President Trump, because he and our military is breaking free, has broken free for the most part from the reptoids, right? Draco reptilians, who are a race of beings that, for the most part are negative, but they have a few positives in there. But that's the way it is in humanity too, because here on Earth we have some negatives. That's for the most part, unfortunately, that's the Islamists, right? So we're breaking free. We're helping them break free, and those that don't want to willingly break free, they're going to be broken free, right, from us. Right? We're going to break them out away from us in kinetic form, right? So the kinetic form, or Trump is of God, and he's giving them the option. Now, you guys that know that my Archangel Michael experience, I'm the same way. I send love. I send a bubble of energy of love surround certain individuals. They have the option at that point to turn to the good, the light, not the darkness, not the Luciferian side. And even though Lucifer is the angel of light, just like that statue that sits in the harbor of New York, Statue of Liberty, right? So we have learned to see through their BS, and we're breaking free from that on every single level, and exposing those that are part of that system, which is the people that are in control in Iran right now, the people that are in control in France, the people who are in control in Great Britain, the people that are in control in Germany, and on and on and on. So all of these people are being exposed. All of these people will be removed in one form or another. Just like when I would surround people, it's funny. One of you are like, Mike, I wouldn't, send a bubble of love to Newsom. He might come back at you with that love. I was like, that's funny. That won't work. So no, that's what happens when you send love to someone, is they become unable to connect with their Luciferian dark energy forces. And it basically, it'll either break them free or it will expose them. If they don't go to the light, then they'll be destroyed. Right? And unfortunately, for most people that I've sent that love light to, almost all of them have been destroyed. Right? So that's what I've been doing to, obviously, and I hope a lot of you have been doing that, because you've been listening to me for a while, have been sending that love energy to the Iranian regime. For the most part, a lot of those guys are gone, right? And we're going to see the rest of them go bye-bye too. Some of them will go to the light, but most of them, they're going away, guys. All right, so that's just the way it is. So those fallen angels, they don't get to exist here on Earth anymore going forward. They will be removed, and or they will come to the light, right? And I know of some that have actually come to the light, believe it or not, some of these fallen angels. So, and they've spoken to me. Of course, I'm very, very observant, right? So maybe they're trying to just pull me into a false narrative, but that has never worked. All right, so let's look at a little bit more what's going on out there. the coming collapse of the Iranian regime, the coming collapse of the Cuban regime. So all around the world, now the God military, the U.S. military, along with other militaries that are moving towards the light around the world, will start to take out these fallen angel control systems and so forth, right? All around the world, because they used the U.S. military for the longest time. They had infiltrated and controlled the U.S. military and Luciferians, and they were using the U.S. military for their evil purposes. So that is being flipped. Of course, the Luciferians want to they're screaming and yelling that Trump is a bad man and he's trying to do evil things. Of course, whenever you see that, guys, you should know right away that anyone that's doing that is either unfortunately misinformed, has a demonic soul, demonic figure that's controlling, manipulating their consciousness and their mouths, right? So that's the way you can start looking at them from now on, right? So if you're, behind President Trump, you're on the right side, guys. So let's look at what's going on.
GC is saying non-negotiable and impossible. Meanwhile, reports are coming out that they're killing thousands more of their people. Again, basically anybody that blinks wrong in Iran, because the regime is so paranoid, is getting the axe or the noose.
So that's very sad, obviously. Now, they did that for a long time, for years here in America with J6ers. And the people that were very conservative and so forth, they went after their bank accounts. Of course, they did the same thing in Canada against the trucker convoy guys, people that are of God, of the light. They have gone after them in Canada. Same thing in Australia, same thing in New Zealand. There's massive pushback around the world on that, but they're starting to come back again and exert their power again. So it's the last ditch push by the Luciferians around the world. Last ditch, right? Now, will this be over this year? Think about that, guys. You think this is going to be over in 1 year? Some of these places like Australia and New Zealand and Canada and Europe still have a stranglehold over their country and their people. Right, so it's going to take time. Now in America, we're breaking free from it, and we're not going to allow it to come back again, right? And anytime it comes in, we're going to be like very soft, very gentle, like good angels are. We'll give them the option to do the right thing, and then we'll press them, and that's what we've been doing since Trump came back. So we've been very patient, very calm, very cool under all the pressure that we went through under the Biden administration. Another one of the last ditch efforts by the deep state Luciferians, right? So that got exposed, that got pushed back, that is being unwound. And as that's being unwound, the 2020, it's not over yet. All right, so we're going to see a lot of this stuff be exposed. The people that are involved in all these different things are being exposed, are going to stand justice. So all these things are happening. And the people that are going to be, involved in that, Pam Bondi, obviously not. Will the person that was her underling, her second, seems to have, in the beginning, seems to have done some good things, but now seems to be fizzling out. So there's people in the wings that are waiting to move in that position to take that ball and run it through the goal line and expose a lot of people and take a lot of these evil people down. So we'll see, going forward. So Trump gives people the opportunity, just like I do when I send love to someone. They're given the opportunity to do the right thing and turn to the light. And if they continue to do evil, then they get removed, guys, right? And one fashion or another. So Max Afterburner, he's basically exposing a lot of this stuff too. He gives a great overview. He was a pilot, so he gives a lot of good insight of what the pilots are capable of. I like to listen to his stuff, and he's around the world. He's a very worldly guy, so great guy to follow.
this point. President Trump heard all of what the IRGC has been saying, it seems like, and he responded in a way that only he can. He told reporters flat out, frankly, maybe we're better off not making a deal at all. Do you want to know the truth? Because we can't let this thing go on. He then referenced the naval blockade directly, saying Iran has not paid a sufficient price yet for its behavior, and outlined two options on the table: an acceptable deal or escalated military action. And on those same lines, in a Truth Social post, this is exactly what President Trump said regarding Iran. He said, I will be soon reviewing the plan that has just been sent to us, but can't imagine that it would be acceptable and that they have not paid a big enough price for what they have done to humanity and the world over the last 47 years. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump.
So what they have done to humanity and the world over the last 47 years. Now, one of the reasons why Europe is not getting involved is because Europe has had their finger in the pot, and they were getting a kickback from the oil as Iran sold it. Europe was getting a kickback as the oil was being sold, and we're seeing that potentially Europe. It's been out in the press already. I say potentially, but it seems like it's already been exposed that Europe has been given classified information on the movement of American aircraft and troops and so forth, coming through Europe and so forth, guys. So that's one of the reasons why President Trump is saying, he's ready to just move out. Now, why would we get involved in this conflict to begin with? Now, ultimately, Europe would be the one that pays the price first. Europe and Israel. So, we have a agreement with Israel, protect Israel, and Europe, NATO. But at this point, NATO is not helping us, and we're starting to see the reason why, because they've been getting kickbacks to the tune of over the last several decades. Of course, the City of London is involved in this. City of London put them in power, and the City of London has been getting a kickback for that for almost 50 years. Billions, trillions of dollars probably at this point. So we're and same thing with America. America, we never broke free from the British Empire, guys. They have been manipulating us ever since. Property taxes, all that stuff, goes to Federal Reserve, goes to governor, just like the British Empire, governor, and so we've constantly been seeing, our money, our blood, sweat, and tears, basically going to the British Empire and doing the work of the British Empire with our military, right? Protecting Europe with our military. We are the ones that have funded NATO. Europeans give if they give anything, they've 5% of their wealth goes into helping, and we're given the lion's share and have been given the lion's share to NATO all these years. Now, Trump has said that we're no longer going to fund. It's not in the budget anymore, Ukraine. So they're all up in arms about that, because they're like, this is against Russia, and Russia's always been the evil thing, even though Russia basically broke free from the deep state control, which was the Soviet Union. They broke away from the Soviet Union and became the Republic of Russia again. So it is continuing, war against evil, war against Luciferians. Like I said, they're, the fallen angels that mated with the women that, are now in positions of, unfortunately, power around the world. And we're breaking free from that. They're doing evil with this money that Iran was making. The same thing in Cuba, same thing in Venezuela, same thing in China. So they do evil. Their people work themselves to death, just like we were doing in the United States. And now we're starting to break free. Trump is doing tariffs, has started reducing taxes. His first term, he reduced taxes. Those taxes stuck. those taxes haven't been reversed even during Biden's administration. Wow, interesting. It seems like there is still some control there. And President Trump with Warsh, this new Federal Reserve guy that's coming in on I think the 11th of this month, and then he's put in position. But he's going to be confirmed by 11th, then in position I think the 15th. And then the acting the Fed chair is going to move over into one of the governors, which is one of the few times in history that the top dog of the Fed has stayed on to influence things, because he's going to vote against Warsh, because Warsh is going to like start reducing rates. And Jerome Powell had his marching orders from the City of London and the Federal Reserve bastardos, a fake bank system that we have here in the United States, which is going away. And we'll have a jubilee, which basically is going to, bring money back to to the people. Sooner the better, and sooner the better we take out this Federal Reserve and destroy it, and the taxation system and the property tax system, which is horrific. You can own your own property. You, as a senior, you should not be continuing to pay property taxes. And I'm a senior, right? So, and I plan to buy a home very soon, and I'm going to own it outright. And I don't want to pay property taxes. That's bullshit. I'm a senior. I'm paying for my property completely. And why do I have to pay property taxes? Well, for the schools, for the children. I raised my children, and they're grown-ups now. Why do I have to continue to do that? It's bullshit, guys. We're showing you guys that they're stealing from us on a massive scale. These property taxes going up and up and up, and soon it's kicking people out of their homes on a massive scale. Foreclosures are exploding again. It's horrific what's going on here in the United States. All right, so all of that stuff gets cleaned up. All of the Hezbollah, all of the Hamas, and they were given money by the world. The United States, helped out the Hamas, the people in the West Bank. And where did that money go? Those people were still living in poverty. And meanwhile, Hamas is building tunnels and collecting massive amounts of armaments and controlling their people, brutalizing their people, just like the Iranian regime has been doing. They've been stealing the people's money. They have incredible oil revenue that comes in that country, and the people have been not benefiting from it. And the American people have not been benefiting from all of our work. We should not be paying taxes. We should be actually getting money, which is going to happen. So that is one of the things I think that this world is just complete slave Luciferian nonsense, and it's got to be corrected. So we have to back President Trump as we move forward.
Let's lay out exactly what's happened over the last 24 hours, because there's been a lot of moving pieces here, and I want to make sure we all have the full picture. First, the IRGC and regime leadership, who's ever actually in charge, which likely there's multiple factions basically arguing and fighting each other, and that would be the Ayatollah class, the mullahs, the IRGC that has the hard-line General Salami, I think is his name at this point. One of the leaders of the IRGC is basically trying to consolidate power, or multiple of them are fighting with factions that want control. And obviously the IRGC members that are near the Strait of Hormuz, or that's their area of responsibility.
These people have to be removed, right? They have to be completely removed. Their goal is world domination. World domination, guys. We cannot let that happen, right? Just like we can't let the Democrats, stay in power and abuse us like they've been doing for, generations now. They have to be removed.
They probably feel like they have the biggest say in these negotiations and in what happens to Iran because they feel like they have the actual power. That's what they feel like, but the A10 Warthog has a little something to say about that, trying to decide who's in power. That's what's going on in Iran's leadership right now. In my opinion, it looks a lot more at this point like taking.
All right. So the mullahs and all those guys, they're all the same. Leftists, around the world, in Europe, here in the United States, what they want to do is have extreme and complete power, fascist, systems that they basically choose who gets ahead, who doesn't, and people don't have any say anymore, and it's very frustrating. And thanks for those super chats, guys. 111, that's good. Angelic, very good. All right. So Trump says probably when asked if he might pull U.S. troops out of Italy and Spain. So this is the movement. He's going to. The military has already said they're going to pull 5,000 troops out of Germany. All right. That's a process going to start. It's going to take anywhere from 6 to 12 months or something like that, or 9 months. So it's a process going to start, and that's 5,000 is dropping a bucket, right? We have 37,000 troops there. We have huge bases there in Germany. I've been to some of them. It's pretty impressive, but we have to pull out. Why? Because they're targeted by the leftists. Those people that are there in Germany and so forth don't want our troops there anymore. All right. So I've seen this, over time, where we're no longer wanted or liked or whatever, and we just pull out. Right. So we should be doing that from NATO. We're not going to support NATO anymore. NATO's done. It's over. It's a demonic form. It's always been demonic, and we should be pulling out as quickly as possible. Right. So he says he would consider pulling U.S. troops out of Italy and Spain a day after announcing that Washington was looking at reducing the number of military personnel in Germany. Trump has harshly criticized NATO allies for not sending their navies to help open the Strait of Hormuz, which they would mostly benefit from, at least their people would. But again, who's really benefiting already? And that's the fallen angel class. Right? We're not going to call them elite anymore. We're going to fallen angel class. All right. So the fallen angels basically are, benefiting every time Iran has moved over the last almost 50 years, oil through the Strait of Hormuz. They've been getting kickback. So that's why they are not going to help out. And some places refuse to even let the U.S. military use their bases in those countries. So that's a major reason why we're pulling out of there. An internal Pentagon email reported by Reuters last week outlined options for the United States to punish NATO allies it believes failed to support U.S. The words they use, failed to support U.S. operations. Like we're punishing them because they're bad to us, right? No, we're punishing them because they're freaking fallen angels, and we need to break free from that system, right? All right. U.S. to pull 5,000 troops from Germany, Pentagon says. And I'll share the screen on this one so you guys can see. The other one's got all kind of like weird Korean girl stuff. Like there's older woman with whatever. All right. U.S. will withdraw as many as 5,000 service members. All right. The reduction of troops comes after diplomatic tensions between the United States and Germany. And it's not clear what units will be impacted. So as of December 2025, approximately 36,000, so 5,000 is just a drop in a bucket, active duty troops were based there. Now, we're not going to help Ukraine anymore. And that's good for Russia. Now, Russia got pushed out of Syria. So they were backing Assad, and that fell apart. So Russia basically is out of Syria, and Syria is now linked with the United States. How about that? And in Mali, there was a huge, they tried to overthrow the government, and there's Russian troops down there. The French, the Malians, after years and years of being manipulated and controlled by the French, wanted to kick the French out. The Russians backed them. They kicked out the evil French. And then these Muslims, radical Muslims, 12,000 radical Muslims tried to come into Mali, and they got their asses kicked. They made huge inroads at first, and then the Russians struck, right? And the Russians basically kicked some serious ass. Good job. So we're seeing around the world this pushback against the evil side guys. So the Russians are making some nice money now for selling their oil, and they're able to, now fund some of these other groups that have pushed out the evil side. And of course, the evil side tried to come back again, and the Russians kicked their ass. Good job, Russians. All right. The people of the government and the people of Mali are very happy about that, because when the Islamists come in, they're evil, just like we're seeing in Iran, just like we're seeing in Hamas and Hezbollah in Lebanon and Hamas in the West Bank. These people are absolutely evil guys, and they kill Christians on a massive scale in Africa right now. So it needs to be really be pushed back. There's a lot of work, but it can be done very, very quickly, very easily. I really believe that we're gonna link with Russia, because it is free from the deep state, and the deep state hates them for that. That's why they're constantly trying to kill them and crush them and all that stuff. And Trump is like kind of played along. Trump has played along. Says if I'd been in office, there never would have been a war. Okay, all right. So, but there is a war, and they're crushing the deep state guys. The deep state is bleeding. Russia has been bleeding the deep state. I'll go into more detail and a further, because there's been a lot of stuff that has come up over the last several years. I predicted that the Russians would go in when everybody was like, the Russians always go to the border. They're never going to go in. And I was like, no, they will go in after the Olympics. And sure enough, the day after the Olympics, they went in. So, and I've been predicting that Russia would, all the fighting that's happened, I said which way it would go. And I said that Russia would come back, and they would just start to steamroll over the Ukrainian troops. And that's what they're doing. They're almost at the point where they're going to seize major cities. Sumy is a major city up near Kyiv, and which they've been using in that area to launch missiles into Russia at the capital, Moscow, and so forth. So they're basically coming in. They're steamrolling into Ukraine now, because we're not funding it anymore. Now, are sending military equipment there. So Europe is still doing it. Europe is still funding it. And Europe is literally sending troops, and have been sending troops, mercenaries, into Ukraine for years and years now. And Russia has been pointing it out, and no one seems to do anything about it. So we'll see what happens. Germany I think, might get spanked hard by Russia. Russia, we know that Russia basically came in and seized half of Germany. Maybe this time they'll come in and seize the whole country, right? Germany's bad guy land. And if they continue to be bad guy land, they're going to get taken down, right? And all of Europe will be. All right, Germany, also home to Ramstein Air Base, the headquarters of the Air Force in Europe. Ramstein is a major hub for U.S. military, serving as the central point for American cargo and troops heading to the Middle East. Meanwhile, Landstuhl is a medical center. So all the troops that were, hurt, severely maimed and so forth in the Iraq War and Afghanistan, they would go to Landstuhl and get worked on. And once they get patched up enough, then they would, send them back to the United States. But there's there's probably a lot of people that were saved in Landstuhl. So that's, there's still some good there in Europe. We'll still probably use some of those bases for a little bit, but for the most part, we need to get the hell out of there, right? Stop funding these fallen angels. All right. Now, this is what it looks like. Hegseth is basically calling it out.
With Iran.
I would note $30 billion for bureaucrats in Ukraine is more than the bill that we've talked about today for a existential and critically important war to ensure that Iran doesn't get a nuclear weapon.
So if Iran eventually did get a nuclear weapon, any European country that got out of line of the deep state, they would get nuked, right? Now, eventually we could be like, well, we're not going to get involved with that. Eventually they would have made a rocket that would reach the United States, right? So we have to go in there. We have to take this down. And like I said, the U.S. military now is the God angels, right? That are taking down the Luciferians around the world. Now, what he's saying is, a lot of this money got laundered. It went to these bureaucrats in Ukraine. And we've talked about it over the years that a lot of that money was actually coming back to the Democrat Party as well. And we already know that. He's not mentioning it there, but we've talked about that in the past. We've proven that in the past. And that's been stopped out too.
Worth noting.
Hegseth triggered controversy by claiming the US has spent $30 billion for bureaucrats in Ukraine, arguing that even greater stakes now lie in what he called an existential confrontation to stop Iran from acquiring a nuclear weapon. Under sharp questioning from Senator Angus King, who accused Washington of abandoning Ukraine, Hegseth doubled down, demanding Europe step up, fund the war, and shoulder the burden, insisting the conflict is Europe's responsibility.
Senator, if you would hold that chart back up, I think that's a beautiful chart. I think that's exactly what we want. We want Europe stepping up and funding and shouldering the burden. They are rich countries worth 20 trillion versus economy of 2 trillion. Europe can step up, Europe can fund it, and they have through our Pearl Initiative and through our European Command. That's exactly what the American people want to see, is other countries stepping up and funding that. If it's that important to Europe, which I understand why it is, and the incursion of Russia and the bravery of the Ukrainians, then European countries should pay for it. And that's exactly what that chart says, and that's the administration policy.
The hearing escalated further when Senator Elizabeth Warren raised allegations of potential financial conflicts of interest tied to defense-linked investments. Hegseth dismissed the claims outright, calling them fabricated and politically motivated. The exchange.
Elizabeth Warren, fallen angel. All right, so it's on. We're at war against the evil guys, and these people that step up. Just recognize them for who they are, the fallen angel offspring. They have to be removed, and they will be removed. So that's the problem that we're facing right now, and it's going to continue. Now, Nino Rodriguez had a really, really good show. Maybe at some point I get this Dr. William Schnobelen on my show. I've had Craig Lund. The satanic, Luciferian group that he says is the top people in like the intelligence, not intelligence, but in the
satanic chain.
Satanic what? chain of, yeah. So neither Tracy and I can think of it right now. So basically the people that are running like Illuminati. Anyway, he talks about them. And what is it? Anyway, I'll think of it in a minute. So anyway, let me play this a little bit. And the Cabal, Luciferians, yes, all those, right? But the Oracle and Facebook, the Jesuits, Jesuits, of course. So anyway, let's Silicon Satan. That's right, Donald. So that's a book that he wrote. So Silicon Valley, the people that are running Silicon Valley have become very, very, up in the ladder, if you will, of the Luciferians. The political class are kind of like below them now. At one point, that Silicon Valley was just, Washington, Seattle, and San Francisco, but now it's moved around the world. And the tech bros, that's right, the tech bros, right? Absolutely. All right, so let's look at this this one video. It's going to go a little bit deep. I saw it. I'm like, holy smokes, these guys, because I've seen both of these guys, talking. Now, I followed Dr. William for quite some time, and his information, he just really came out here. So I think we need to bring him out and have him go a little bit deeper. It only got 80,000 views. I think Nino can get some pretty good views because he got a huge subscriber base, almost got 1 million people now. So a little over 500,000. So let's listen to a little bit of this, and I'll comment a little bit here and there. But we're going to talk about so Dr. William, he started out as I think he was I think it was Jewish or Christian. I think it was started out Jewish, and then he went like total satanic. And then he went into the Mormon church, which he's going to talk about, which is even more satanic, as he's going to describe. I was like, what? And so Nina was the same way. He's like, what? So I was like, but I've heard some of his talks before, so it didn't really blow me away. I've heard this for quite some time. So hidden within a lot of these religions, as we know, is pure evil, right? And he's going to talk about some of that. But he's also going to talk about vampires. Now we can see some of these vampires. I think Hochul and Newsom and Witchmer, and there's several vampires and witches out there, guys.
Lucifer, and it transformed my life in a very negative way. And I was really in a very dark downward spiral, including drinking blood, involved in animal sacrifices.
Did you ever drink human blood?
Oh, a lot.
Wow.
I was basically, I was supposedly, okay, let me explain. I got to a certain point climbing up, or if you will, down the ladder of Satanism. And I was told that if I wanted to go further, I either would have to go the route of being a lycanthrope, in other words, a shapeshifter, werewolf, or whatever, on one hand, or I had to go the route of being a vampire on the other hand. And I decided to go with a vampire because...
But hold on, those are just mythology creatures, right? Or are they...
See how this works? Most people are like Nino. It's mythological. It's just like just the movies, right? No, these beings exist.
You say
they're real. They're real enough to kill people, especially the werewolves. They're like the assassins of Satanism. They're the ones.
I've seen trail cams with the dog man. Does that have any connection?
It may very well. I know it.
Now the dog men are used by the military. They've been used by the military for quite some time. Obviously, very secretive. They're out there. They're not werewolves. Werewolves are on a different level. Dog men, they were I don't know if they were, biologically designed, genetically designed, but they have been used in tunnel invasions quite a bit. I think a dogman or dogmen were used when we took al-Baghdadi down. Remember how President Trump was talking about how the dog went in to get al-Baghdadi? I think that was a dogman.
And that might be part of it. But these people, they try to keep very low on the radar, but they're real and they're very scary. And they could literally rip a person apart like tissue paper. They're as big as a grizzly bear. Yeah, that kind of looks like what they look like. They don't look like the old, Lon Chaney movies from the 1940s. I mean, they look like that.
So you're you're telling my audience, you're telling me these are absolutely real.
Oh yeah, they're as real as a heart attack. And
I've heard they're
one.
I've heard they're able to, they're almost like the Sasquatch. They're able to blend into dimensions, come in and out of dimensions.
That may be true. Yeah, again, it's not my area of expertise. I've just had a couple of them try to attack me over the years, and thankfully Yeshua is much more powerful than they are, and they're terrified of him. But anyway, so I'm in this deep dark place, and I sent a check off to the Church of Satan for my annual dues. And when I got the check back from the bank, in the check, the lady that had processed the check had written on it, "I'll be praying for you in Jesus' name." And of course, I just sneered at that. I thought that was stupid, threw it in the file and forgot about it. Well, literally within a day.
All right. So I've been talking about this for years, ever since I had my Archangel Michael experience. Gosh, I think it was like a couple of decades ago. Yeah, it's over a couple of decades ago now. When I was in Iraq, I think it was like 2003, 2004, around 2000, late 2003 is when I had that experience. So almost quarter century now. So from that point, eventually, as you guys know, I got to the point where, after having the Archangel Michael experience, where he, brought me back to this reality and sent me back and infused me with the love vibrational frequencies. And from that, I started sending love to these evil beings, whether they're fallen angel types like Hillary Clinton or, lots of others. We never saw the real Biden in office as president because I worked him, and Kamala. So, and it's not me. I just send love, the love of, Archangel Michael and the love of God. So that's what that person did. And that made him weak, as you're going to see. So that's what I do. I come in and completely destroy their demons now. I armor up with the armor of God, and I go in and completely destroy demons, send them back to departiculate them and send them back into the light. So this is what, some of us can do. This is not for the average person. It takes time, takes training, takes focus, and you have to have a connection to the angelic realm, the good guy side. All right. So this is a very interesting story. Let's continue.
My whole life fell apart. I lost all my occult power because, believe me, occult power is real. Magic is real, but it's powered by demons. It's not like these new age types will tell you, oh, it's this inner force, like the Force, in Star Wars, and you can just channel and do stuff. I mean, it's from demons. And anyway, I lost it all. I lost my job. I felt sick as a dog. And the next day
So that's what happens. They lose their demonic connection, which gives them power. They become weak. They become vulnerable, and at some point they can go to the light, which he eventually does.
I got a phone call from these two girls, teenage Satanist chicks down in Chicago, which is like about 90 miles from where I lived in Milwaukee. And they said, "Can we come up and see you? We hear you're this great satanic priest, blah, blah, blah." So, okay, they said they had a present for me. And since I just lost my job, I figured, well, maybe they're going to give me some money. So they came up to see me, And they came and they brought me these 2 Christian comic books from Chick Publications, I'm sure you've all heard of, Spellbound and Angel of Light. Now, can you imagine, 2 Satanists giving you Christian comics? And they said, you've got to read these things. They're so stupid. They're Neanderthal, and they've written like obscene things in the margins and made the people look cross-eyed and all of that. Again, I just threw it in the drawer and forgot about it. Well, the next day, Mormon missionaries showed up. And I kind of skipped over the fact that back in 1973, I was down in Arkansas studying under the Grand Druid of North America, and he told us if we ever got into trouble that we should join the Mormon Church, because the Mormon Church was founded by witches for witches, so that we could hide out in that church and appear to be nice, straight Christian, all-American Norman Rockwell type people. And anyway, so we joined the Mormon Church, and I became an elder. I really got into it. I mean, I gave up the dope, I gave up the cocaine, but because I had been told that the leadership of the Mormon Church were all white witches, I kept doing the white witchcraft thing. And I went to the temple in Salt Lake City, which is kind of like, the Cadillac of Mormon temples. And the thing is like a satanic Disneyland.
So you're telling me right now that Mormons, a lot of them, I guess it's like the Masons, the lower level, mid-level don't know what's going on at the highest level. But you're telling me at the highest level, Mormons are Satanists?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What?
And yeah, and I know it's hard to believe, but in the course of this, this Druid guy gave us some secret words to feed into the Mormon temple at Salt Lake. And we did that. And as a result of that, the whole temple was shut down except for us. We were allowed to go through, the endowment, they call it, the ritual. We were married for time and all eternity in the secret rooms with all of them weird mirrors and everything. And then they had me go and meet with the president of the temple, who's this big shot, and he in turn arranged us to have a meeting with one of the 12 apostles. Now, this is at the very top hierarchy of the Mormon Church, right under the prophet. And I'll tell you the name of the guy. It was Elder James Faust. Believe it or not, his name was Faust. And if you know anything about occult history, you know that Faust is the name of a famous fictional sorcerer who sold his soul to the devil. But it just happened to be this guy's name by coincidence. In any event, we told him that we had had dreams and visions where there was like satanic type stuff going on in the temple, where there was like this naked young girl on an altar and people were chanting and all around her and all of this stuff. And you know what this guy said? He said that I bear you my solemn testimony, which is a big deal for a Mormon to say that what you have said is true, that Lucifer is the god of the Mormon temple. And that if you, if you like play your cards right, if you move out here to Salt Lake, because at this time we were living in Milwaukee, he could find a place for us very high up in the Mormon hierarchy, serving, quote unquote, in the temple.
Wow.
So, fortunately, before that happened, a few things happened where we ended up having to leave Milwaukee, go to Dubuque, which is where I'm living now. And anyhow, along the way, I went to a prophecy seminar because I thought I could go there and steal some sheep. Because I thought, I'm in a church that has a living prophet. These dumb Christians are doing a prophecy seminar and I can dazzle them with my knowledge of scripture. So I went there, and it was the first time in my life that I ever encountered a Christian that really knew the Bible. And no matter what I did, he had an answer for it. And finally, I challenged him and I said, well, where do you get the authority to baptize people so they can be saved? Because Mormons believe that either you've got the Catholic Church, the Roman Catholic Church, which, claims to all the way back to Simon Peter, and they're up to the present day. But, a lot of people believe that the Catholic Church went kerflooey. And so Joseph Smith, the Mormons believe, came along and restored the true church in 1830. So I asked him, where do you get the authority to do this stuff? You don't have this priesthood from Joseph Smith. You don't have the Catholic priesthood. So, and he said, just look at Acts 16:31. Believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, and you'll be saved. And at that moment, that was like the arrow, the scriptural arrow that went through my magic Mormon underwear, and bam, it hit my heart. I went home. I prayed and fasted for a few days, and finally the Holy Spirit brought those comic books to mind. And I got those comic books out from the bottom of the closet and, knelt at the foot of the bed and prayed the prayer that's in the back, the Jesus prayer, so to speak, to get saved, and I was born again. And that was in 1984.
Boom. So, as you're seeing, now for the most part, we're not going to have a lot of people do this, right? All right. This was like, he's talking about 1980s. Craig Lund, his transformations happened decades ago as well. So we're at the point now where we're not going to see too many more people transform. And maybe, but for the most part, I don't think we're going to see as many. Right. So whoever's on the godly side, that's great, and whoever's still on the Luciferian side, that's where you are. And I think that at some point, as we start to change the vibration of our planet, that they no longer will be able to. And I see it now. It seems like there's so few people now than there used to be. Everywhere I go, there's less and less people. So I think a lot of people are basically just vibrating out. I'm sure people are dying, or checking out because they're like, "Oh, I'm not of this vibration. I'm out," and for lots of different stuff. So it's going to get a lot leaner here on Earth as far as like the humanity, because this is definitely a process that's happening on a massive scale. Now, can people turn? Absolutely. And the process, I believe, is still happening. It's happening on a faster and faster scale. Will it be on great numbers? Like I said, I don't think so. But let's look at this. This is very intriguing. And if we start to see stuff like this happen, it's very encouraging. But we're going to see this stuff start to happen. So actor Spencer Pratt, star, like on the Hollywood Boulevard, all those stars, fallen angels, stars, all right? Hollywood, of course, the witch's wand. So Pratt has some MAGA creds and support from a small but influential group of celebrities, including Dana Carvey, David Spade, Joe Rogan, and Adam Carolla. So it's moving in that direction. Each election cycle brings a wave of celebrities endorsing the Democrat du jour, the Democrat of the day, Clinton, Harris, Mamdani. November 3rd, LA mayoral election could be an outlier. So are we going to see Spencer Pratt actually take his fame and transform it into the mayor of LA? Wow. So these, former, Hollywood types, fallen angels, stars, whatever, could they turn this around? It is possible, guys, and I hope they do, but we will see. LA is very, very corrupt. All right, to be sure, many liberal-minded voters have already rallied behind incumbent Democrat Mayor Karen Bass, despite all around low marks for handling of the 2025 Los Angeles wildfires, or her progressive challenger, City Council member Nityan Raman. So a lot of corruption. It's been exposed, but still people don't care, it seems like. Bass leads in essentially every poll. And Rahman is promised to reverse the dramatic Hollywood job losses happening on the incumbent mayor's watch. So Hollywood is really getting hammered by this corrupt government in not only Los Angeles, but all throughout California. Everybody's suffering in California. So says still, Pratt is in second place in 2 of 3 recent polls, including one a few weeks ago. So ideally, you don't want to be in the front all the way through. You want to come from behind. That's ideal. So if Pratt can come behind strong, he could win this thing. And that would turn around the evil of LA potentially, unless he's another infiltrator. Just more of the same, but just with a different face, right? Including one a few weeks ago by UCLA Luskin School of Public Affairs, with Bass ahead by 14 points, and an Emerson College poll in early March in which Pratt trailed by just 8 points. So a nonpartisan primary will be held on June 2nd, and any of the candidates could win the mayoral race outright by receiving more than 50% of the vote. So who knows? Maybe he'll win it. If he gets more than 50% of the vote on June 2nd, could happen. All right. The sour news that continues to flow from the City of Angels could make Pratt's candidacy more than a reality show lark. So it says he's got a lot of people from the Hills alum that think he would be a good fit. So it says Apolitical Comics, David Spade and Dana Carvey bash modern LA and march from the comfort of their Fly on the Wall podcast. The Saturday Night Live alums boast decades of Hollywood experience, and they couldn't keep their concerns to themselves. The Hollywood industry is dying, Spade said, and that old Hollywood needs to die, all right, needs to be replaced by the good angels. Reflecting on the production lots he once worked on that are now filing for bankruptcy. Thanks, Karen Bass. Thanks, Newsom, he said, referring respectively to Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass and Governor Gavin Newsom, Vampire Boy, also a Democrat. The amount of productions is dying. And so they have to do something so more production comes back. And that starts with negotiating with the union and also subsidizing industry tax breaks, all right, to compete with Romania. So they can take a whole crew and film in Romania and save money. That money should be staying in California, but because of the California taxes and all of the stuff that they, make life miserable for everybody who wants to do something good, then people are just, the industry is just fleeing LA. It's cheaper to bring 100 American people to Ireland than to walk across the lot at Fox, past the sound stages, and do it there. So Rob Lowe said, referring to his game show, The Floor, it's just tax, economics of it all. So it's criminal that California and LA have let it happen. It's criminal. Everybody should be fired. Yes, taxes got to go bye-bye, right? Khloe Kardashian, hardly a partisan voice in the culture, called out Bass during last year's deadly wildfires. She recoiled after learning citywide budget cuts hurt the fire department's resources at the worst possible time. Timing, yes, they did it on purpose. Mayor Bass, you are a joke, Kardashian said via her Instagram feed. So it seems like the celebrities are ganging up on them. Fellow podcast giant Joe Rogan, who called LA home for several years and left for Texas, also endorsed Pratt. Listen, man, I'm voting for you. Well, I can't vote for you, but I'm rooting for you. I mean, if I lived in LA still, no question whatsoever, I would vote for you. Fellow reality stars, Kristen Cavallari, Brody Jenner, The Hills, and Jesse Draper, The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, Secret Lives, that should are you really telling us secret lives of those Mormon wives? Also have Pratt's back, demonic secret lives. Comic Nikki Glaser, a fixture on the Hollywood circuit, isn't weighing in on the mayor's race because she left the City of Angels for a less splashy destination. So she said, she told Live with Kelly and Mark that she moved from LA to St. Louis, her home, to get away from it all following the COVID-19 pandemic, and she never went back. All right. So could they turn it around? Well, they better. Otherwise, it's destroyed. Of course, we know we have Louis Herms that's running for governor of California in that primary too. Hopefully he does well so that he can move forward and and turn California around. So that would be perfect. So here's a guy, Pratt, who no background. I don't know, maybe has a little bit of money from all that acting, his acting career. And looks like he's getting backed by, all the people that normally back the Democrats no matter what. So now they're turning against them, and he's running as a Republican too. So very interesting. We'll see if that transforms. We'll see if Louis Herms, who's coming from the bottom, no backing, never been in a political office, and not a rich man by any stretch of the imagination, if he gets to that position, that would be phenomenal. So we need people like that to start taking these political positions, guys. All right. So that's the way we win against the Luciferian fallen angels. All right. All right, guys. Lots of love and stay in the love vibration, because that's how we defeat them. Say great prayers and send them to these baddies. All right. Make sure you protect yourself. All right. Lots of love. I'll see you guys next time.